So you've found yourself alone again. The screen is dark, the notifications have dried up, and the silence in your room feels heavy, like a physical weight pressing against your chest. You call it loneliness, and you treat it like a disease you need to cure. You reach for your phone to perform surgery on that feeling, hoping a stranger's photo or a distant like will stitch the wound. You are terrified of the gap between your thumb and the glass. But tell me, why are you so afraid of your own company? Why does the lack of an audience feel like a lack of existence? You live in a world that worships connection. You are wired, plugged in and synced until your very thoughts feel like they belong to a network rather than a soul. You are told that to be alone is to be a failure, a broken gear in a machine that has stopped spinning. But I've always found that the most connected people are often the most hollow. They are like bamboo, tall, impressive, and completely empty inside because they've given everything away to the wind. They have no centre, only a surface for others to knock upon. Look at those buildings outside your window. Thousands of rooms, thousands of people, all striving to be useful. You want to be a useful employee, a useful partner, a useful friend. You think your value is measured by how much of yourself you can trade away for a bit of recognition. And when you are alone, and there is no one to trade with, you feel useless. That is where the ache comes from. It is the withdrawal symptoms of an ego that has run out of mirrors. In my time, I spoke of a great gnarled oak tree. Its trunk was too twisted for a carpenter's measurements. Its branches were too crooked to make a boat. The wood was too bitter to even burn. Every woodcutter passed it by, calling it worthless. They laughed at its deformity. And because it was useless, it was never chopped down. It grew for 1,000 years, spreading a canopy so wide that entire villages could rest in its shade. It achieved a greatness that the useful trees, the ones turned into chairs and toothpicks, could never imagine. It survived because it was of no use to anyone but itself and the sky. Your loneliness is actually your uselessness protecting you. It is the moment the world stops demanding things from you. It is the moment the carpenter's axe is put away. Why do you mourn the fact that no one is trying to cut you down and turn you into a table today? Why are you crying? Because the world has left you alone long enough to grow deep roots. This useless time is not a void. It is a sanctuary. This is when you actually grow. You ask how to deal with it. You want a hack, a 5-step plan, a way to make the feeling vanish like a closed tab. But the way to deal with loneliness is to stop fighting it and start fasting through it. I don't mean food, I mean the fast of the heart. Your heart is currently a crowded marketplace. It's full of voices that aren't yours. Your boss's expectations, your parents' worries, the digital ghosts of people you haven't seen in years, the crushing weight of should. When you are lonely, you finally have a chance to clear the stalls, to sweep the floor, to let the dust settle until the air is clear. Don't listen with your ears, they only hear words. Don't listen with your mind, it only hears concepts and judgments. Listen with your chi, your vital breath. The breath is empty. It doesn't judge the lungs it fills, it just moves. It flows in, it flows out. It doesn't ask for a like or a follow. When you sit in a quiet room, don't try to meditate to achieve some higher state or to check a box on a self-improvement list. Just sit until the you that needs to be liked, the you that needs to be productive, And the you that is performing for an invisible audience finally gets tired and goes to sleep. What is left when the performance stops? What remains when the theatre is empty and the lights are down? That is who you are. And that person is never lonely, because that person is a source of everything. There is a secret the world doesn't want you to know. Loneliness is a hunger for others. Solitude is a fullness of self. Loneliness is a beggar holding out a bowl, asking the world to put some meaning into it. It is a state of poverty. But when you embrace solitude, you realize you are the bowl, and you are already full to the brim. You worry about being disconnected. But what are you disconnecting from? A web of illusions? A sea of noise? I once dreamt I was a butterfly, fluttering joyfully, not knowing I was Zhuangzi. Then I woke up and I was Zhuangzi, not knowing if I was a man who dreamt he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was a man. People think that's a story about confusion. It's not. It's a story about fluidity. When you are truly comfortable in your solitude, the walls of your identity become thin. You realize you aren't a fixed, lonely point in space. You are the air, the butterfly, the tea, and the silence. You are part of the Tao, the great nameless flow that connects the stars to the dust in your hallway. How can you be alone when the very atoms of your body are dancing the same dance as the galaxies? The modern world wants you to believe you are an island so it can sell you a bridge. I'm telling you that you are the ocean. The waves might feel isolated on the surface, but underneath they are all the same water. Your loneliness is just a wave forgetting it belongs to the sea. So, the next time the silence feels too loud, don't reach for the light. Don't drown it out with a podcast or a scroll. Sit in the dark. Let the useless version of you breathe for a while. Let the twisted oak of your soul stretch its branches without apology. The crowd will always be there tomorrow, waiting to chop you into pieces and use you for something productive. The machine will always be hungry for your attention. But right now, you are the great crooked oak. You are the butterfly and the dreamer. Enjoy your shade. Enjoy the magnificent, terrifying, beautiful emptiness of being exactly who you are. Go on, be useless for a bit. The world will survive without you for 10 minutes, and you might finally survive being with yourself.